Ramatu.
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 Ramatu is pregnant. Ramatu, you are falling. What is all this? There's a guy.
A guy? What does he do?
He's in college.
And you're in secondary school.
So what does love know about college and school?
Any man that comes to you at this stage of your life is a distraction.
Forget your mom. She has lived her life. See, it's your time now.
What passion, what energy, what commitment. Ladies and gentlemen, after that youthful rendition of our national anthem, I believe I must take your minds back to the days when you were children. We all had parents, but we used to take them for granted, largely. Teachers, on whose behalf we are here this morning, our parents, extending the domestic functions of our parents into the formal setting of education. And we have been guilty over the years of taking them for granted. Tonight, excited too much. This morning, we are here to put an end to that. We are here to acknowledge and to reward. And to start that, we need to call men of God to lead us and contact the Lord Almighty. I will invite Professor Babatunde Karim to lead us in Muslim prayers. Over this side, please. Come to this side, please.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala ali Muhammadin wa salim. In the name of Allah, the gracious and merciful. Praise be to Allah, Lord of the worlds. We praise you, Allah, for your unique existence. You are the Supreme, who is able to bring all things into being. We thank you for the precious gift of intellect and faculties of learning, speaking and understanding. We thank you, Allah, for our daily lives and for the ability to work for our living, for the sustenance of our families, and for the progress of our communities and the nation at large. We are gathered here this morning for the Presidential National Best Teacher Award ceremony to recognize those teachers who have rendered outstanding, selfless, dedicated service to the teaching profession. We humbly pray that you, Allah, Bless this occasion and everybody present here with thy abundant mercies. We thank thee for those who will be receiving awards for their productivity, innovation, ingenuousness, dedication, resourcefulness, diligence, patience, and constancy in the performance of their work in the service of the profession. O Allah, endow them with good health and dedicated will to continue the service whereas they find themselves. O Allah, continue to bless the authorities of the Teaching Service Commission for their wisdom to recognize and appreciate faithful service for themselves and for their sense of gratitude. With this worthy gesture, inspire all other teachers for faithful, sincere, and dedicated service, and to see the teaching profession not as a dead-end job. We pray for the improvement of the conditions of service of teachers so that once again their dignity will be restored and their invaluable services will be aspired, and their aspirations moving forward in a career worthy of respect, appreciation, and reward. We pray for the teachers, all teachers, wherever they may be, irrespective of their status, to continue to render valuable services to the nation. Services rendered not because of the glory and remuneration attached to it, but services willingly devoted, selfless, and true. And for these selfless and available services, we pray the Almighty richly and abundantly bless you. O Allah, we pray for our revered state, retired Brigadier Adabiyo, for his commitment and dedication to the free quality education program, the flagship development program with teachers playing a crucial and decisive role in its successful implementation. O Allah, grant him and his government abundant wisdom, understanding, patience and sympathy, good health, uprightness, and all they require to improve the welfare of the nation and to lead this nation to righteous living and prosperity. We pray for the people of Sierra Leone that we show tolerance to one another, irrespective of shade of opinion or color, so that we may live in peace and harmony and be faithful and true in all that we do. O Allah, you are the name of Allah, the name of Nasir. Bring this nation under your protective shield of compassion and mercy. Ya Mujibu Dawat, answer our prayers, fulfill our needs and desires, cure our illnesses and sicknesses, instill righteousness and piety in our hearts, souls and character, and grant us complete prosperity and success in this world and the hereafter. O Allah, guide us all to the right path, the path of those on whom you have bestowed your grace, and not on those who you have anger on and have gone astray. O Allah, make the beginning of this day very good for us, the middle prosperous, and the end successful. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار وادخلنا الجنة مع الأبرار يا عزيز يا رب العالمين. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا يا مولانا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. اللهم أعوذ بك من همزة الشيطان. اللهم أعوذ بك من همزة الشيطان. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. الفاتحة.
Reverend James Boy Cocker, you are invited to lead us in Christian prayers.
The Lord be with you. Let us pray. Lord, we acknowledge that everything comes from you, the God who orchestrates every second of our lives so perfectly because of your great love for us. All the praises, awards, accolades that your children who have worked very hard as teachers will receive today are meant to be given back to you. It is because of your grace and guidance that we have come this far. What is set before us, we give all the glory back to you. We praise and thank you for the several months and years of successful events you have prearranged. Equip us with your wisdom. Equip us with your guidance. Equip us with humility as we do our best for you and for humanity. All of these we ask through Jesus Christ, our Lord.
Amen. Mr. Suri Ibrahim Toure, Secretary of the Teaching Service Commission, you are invited to give the welcome address.
His Excellency the President, Brigadier Retired Dr. Julius Madabu, Madam First Lady of the Republic of Ireland, Ministers of Basic Senior Secondary Education and Ministry of Higher and Technical Education, the Chief Minister, Ministers of Government here present, our Parliamentary Oversight Committee on Education, heads of parastatals, the country manager of the World Bank and other international donor agencies, our TSC commissioners, members of parliament, principals, head teachers, students, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I stand here on behalf of the Teaching Service Commission to profoundly welcome all of us into this wonderful ceremony and August Assembly. We're here today to celebrate our teachers, to recognize their profound and committed service to the profession, and as a workforce comprising of about 45% of the government's national service, we are indeed grateful that we have arrived at this point. It started with teachers submitting their applications to us. They went through committees, they were vetted, and finally, winners were selected. So it gives us great pleasure to welcome here today our distinguished winners. They are the ones who are celebrating, and they are the reason we are here. So ladies and gentlemen, please join me in giving a round of applause to our winners whom we are celebrating. So thank you and welcome on behalf of our teachers.
Put your hands together for the announcement. When you hand the mic in front of your teachers, you are careful because you don't want to say John a boy. Mary a girl. You want to be exact, you want to be correct. So please keep on smiling. Tell your neighbor, I'm here to smile. This program is all smiles. Because when I look tense more, just shake the atmosphere. That's why today, ladies and gentlemen, to transform your emotions and feelings and lessen your stress, to bring you calmness, positivity, so that by the time you leave here, you are energized. We have for you the Military Magai School for the Blind to come and give us some presentation. Put your hands together for them, ladies and gentlemen. Keep on clapping. Clap, clap. clapping.
Teacher, I'm not a President, yourself, nothing to choose. As President, ministers, nothing to choose. So we excellence and congratulations as we will celebrate all we can today.
Thank you. Put your hands together once again. Put your hands together. Thank you. When I was in my teens and I was with my dad implemented a policy at home. He said, everybody should speak English. No Creole speaking here. And we said, okay. And I had this nephew who had just joined us. In the morning, there was a morning somebody was selling, one of those traders, and the person was selling egg. And the woman started shouting, well, egg day, and then the boy got up and said, this is a early morning. Don't pass with boiled egg. So when you tell him this year for speak Creole, I was let me say, let me talk, say boiled egg. So I want to call on Madam Josephine Saidu, the CEO of Teach for Salon, to come up and give us an overview of the selection process. Put your hands together for her.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Sierra Leone, retired Brigadier Julius Madabio, our esteemed First Lady, Madam Fatima Madabio, the Speaker of Parliament, Chief Minister, Ministers of States, the Mayor of the Freetown Municipality, members of the Diplomatic and Consular Corps, development partners, the Fourth and Fifth Estates, my esteemed panel of judges, winners of the Presidential National Vestige Awards, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It's such a delight and honor for me to coordinate and now give an overview of the selection process for the maiden edition of the Presidential National Best Teachers Awards. The selection process has 3 different panels of judges at district, regional, and national levels, and comprised 5 stages. The district and regional panels of judges comprise members of the House of Parliament from the district and region, and organizations and institutions at the district and regional levels. There are 2 sets of panelists, 8 with polling rights, and these are the members of Parliament, representatives of the Sierra Leone Teachers Union, the National Council for Head Teachers, Conference of Principals, civil society, SLAGE, a private sector, and a student. The 4 non-scoring members with the rights to just observe are the representatives of the Interreligious Council, the Anti-Corruption Commission, Audit Service Sierra Leone, and the district councils. The national panel comprised the chairman of the Parliamentary Oversight Committee, Honorable Shonde, the Chief Education Officer, NBSCC, Professor Yatakani, a renowned educationist and the person of Mr. McLeod, and representatives of the aforementioned organizations and institutions serving at the national level. In the event of a tie, the student has the casting vote. The selection stages include the nomination, eligibility, assessment, interview, and verification. At the nomination stage, teachers were nominated by either a student or colleague teachers, then vetted and endorsed by the heads of schools, SMCs, or boards. At the eligibility stage, 160 shortlisted nominees were selected by the district panel of judges based on 4 eligibility criteria as follows. They should be full-time, trained and qualified pre-primary, primary or secondary school teacher in a government or government-assisted school. They should have consistent demonstration of high performance and dedication as a teacher for at least 5 years. Evidence of meeting the professional standards set by the TSC. And finally, practicing their profession in line with the Teacher Code of Conduct. At the assessment stage, 3 winners from the pre-primary, primary, JSS, SSS levels, totaling 48, emerged and faced the national panel for an interview process focusing on their profile and accomplishments, the Teacher Code of Conduct, the professional standards, general knowledge on the TSC, their confidence and appearance. For the final interview stage, the 15 regional winners faced the national panel for further scrutiny with a focus on 5 thematic areas. And these were professionalism, teaching excellence, students and school development, their contributions to the education sector and their communities. All credentials, including certificates and awards, were vetted and endorsed by all present, including the Anti-Corruption Commission and Audit Service Sierra Leone. For the verification process, the national panel of judges undertook an exercise to verify information provided, projects or initiatives by all 15 regional winners, and spoke to heads of schools, CTA chairs, SMCs, board members, colleague teachers, and pupils. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I must confess the journey was long but worthwhile, and that we remained committed to ensuring fairness and transparency throughout the process. I'm pleased to see our maiden award come to light today, and we now have 48 illustrious winners, selfless, dedicated, and dynamic people who are passionate about developing the human capital of our nation. Congratulations to you all. I now call on Mr. Abubakar Kamara, the Principal Auditor for Audit Service Sierra Leone, to verify and vet the process. Thank you.
All existing protocols observed. Good morning, all. I am from the Audit Service Sierra Leone, the Office of the Auditor General. As the Audit Service Sierra Leone was part of the entire process of the Presidential Award of the Best Teacher. But this process was conducted together with other key stakeholders that I would like to name here to ensure the openness, fairness, and transparency of the entire process. The Audit Service Sierra Leone did the exercise together with the Anti-Corruption Commission. We also have the Chief Education Officer, Ministry of Basic and Senior Secondary Education, Mrs. Yata Kano, the Chairman, Basic Education Committee, Honorable Dominic Sondi, the Sierra Leone Teachers Union Representative, Mrs. Teresa Sako. We have the Conference of Principal Representative, Mrs. Maria Tumansari. The representative from NatCourt, Mr. Samuel M. Koruma. The Civil Society Representative, Mr. Alfonso Manley. The Local Council Representative, Mr. Idrissa Kago. Interreligious Council Representative, Sheikh Abubakar Kamara. APP, Beatrice Williams. Teach for Salon, Josephine Kamara. The World Bank representative, Dr. Husseini. The representative from SLAJ, Abdurrahman Kamara. And finally, educationist, Mr. Nelson Williams. Thank you all, and take this opportunity to present the final results. Thank you.
Put your hands together. The process is fair. Clap, clap, clap. Now we're going to have statements from a few people. For their statements, they are not statements they will get for boy you. You know, say I don't tell you, say everybody should smile. If you don't want to smile, please smile. Keep the smiles on. And we're going to have a statement from about 3 people. But before the statements come up, I just want to tell you about something. You know that when teachers have drivers, the driver, like if you say, let's say, look like the teacher there. So I told my driver, I said, trafficate is not a word, don't use it. Then he said to one of the other drivers, we drive and bad. He told me, I said, oh, you're not talking about tourniquet. Talking about tourniquet. So you have to be careful with these drivers. I want to call up the World Bank Country Manager, Mr. Abdul Mawonge. Put your hands together for him as he comes up to make his statement.
Thank you. It can reach? Okay. Thank you. Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Sierra Leone, Dr. Julius Madabio, the First Lady, Your Excellency, Vice President, Speaker of Parliament, Honorable Ministers, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, all protocol observed. On behalf of the development partners, I would like to express our sincere gratitude on this huge accomplishment by your government, Dr. Bill, to launch the Presidential Best Teacher Award. It's a key award that comes on the World Teachers' Day, designated by the UNESCO to celebrate the roles and responsibilities of what teachers do in our lives. Each one of us has a story about a teacher, whether we like it or not. For as long as we've been to school, each one of us has a story to tell and a story to remember. But I think it is important to recognize that the teachers are not alone. I want to come back to that Honorable Your Excellency, Dr. Dio later, that as we celebrate teachers today, parents also have a role to play. Parents have a role to play. You need to keep the children in school. That's critical. And it's part of the mandate by His Excellency the President. It is also important that as a parent, ask yourself, how much time do you have in a week to spend with your child in whatever class, to either read a book or in the other, or a local newspaper. Teach children when they are young to start reading the newspaper. But not just to go and enjoy a cup of drink with friends. It's okay, drink, but also please play your role as a parent. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, teachers have played a critical role in Sierra Leone, and we are celebrating the achievements of the best teacher. And we all know that COVID has brought very difficult times to each one of us. That said, the government, through the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education, has put in place measures to try and support the learning of children, despite the hard conditions. Fiscal conditions have been hard, the learning environment has been hard, but through, for example, the National Review Program, the safety protocols to allow kids to learn during the COVID environment, just to mention a few, and measures that the government has put in place to see that we support the kids to learn during this difficult time. Fiscal resources are constrained, but that's it. Again, Your Excellency, credit to you. As part of the National Development Plan, human capital, we know, is a key milestone and a key agenda for your government. It is reflected in terms of the budget allocations that you do, and it's also reflected in terms of the commitment and the caliber of people you put to run the education ministry. So that is a key testament we'd like to celebrate. For us, we see Sierra Leone's achievement is being echoed all over around the world now. Last week, the president was in Washington, and human capital was among the key things that were discussed, okay? Including keeping pregnant girls in school, okay? Today we are celebrating teachers, and we are focusing on teachers who are doing a good job. But what goes into the classroom is a lot. The neighboring environment, do teachers have textbooks? Do teachers have a cordial environment to express their views? These are some of the initiatives that as development partners, through, for example, the free education project, we are trying to support. But you ask yourself a question, why is the teacher very important? Cognitive skills, when we're all very young, from basic numeracy skills, we learn from the teacher. Issues to deal with teamwork, communication, collaboration, lifelong skills which will transform one's life. We all learn from the teacher. And like I said, we all have a memory of a teacher who has given us a hand, held our hand to succeed. Some of you teachers have paid for your school fees. Some of you teachers have given you a meal when at home you never got enough food. You get it? So when we come back to celebrate teachers, let's really look at how much they are important in terms of improving their welfare, in terms of improving their self-esteem. As part of the development policy operation, which we are working to support the government, we are instituting an institutional framework for teacher management, working closely with the Teacher Service Commission. So we do hope that going into the future, there will be many more strides we can improve to support the teachers. But I would like to come back to where I started and say it is one thing to ask the teacher to do their part. But as a parent, what are you doing in your own capacity? Whether it is through the teacher management committees to provide an enabling environment for the teachers, or also you picking up a newspaper and learning the kid to read. Because the teacher will do an enabler. Your Excellency, Dr. Bill, on behalf of my colleagues, some of whom are here, the EU, the Irish Embassy, FCDO, we are part of the free education program that is financing free quality education over the next 5 years, with a key emphasis on supporting quality learning, including improvement in the quality of teachers. So on behalf of my colleagues, we once again congratulate you on this huge achievement. You can count on our continuous support going forward, and thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Again. Inside and say, and they give teacher money, now the clap. Put your hands together once again. Next on the item, we have Mr. Colonel Omalike Saki, the TSC chairperson. Put your hands together for him as he comes up.
Your Excellency, the President, Brigadier Retired Dr. Julius Madabio, Madam First Lady, Chief Minister, ministers, government ministers, stand on existing protocols. Your Excellency, one of your manifesto promises was to review and make functional the Teaching Service Commission with the view of creating opportunities for teachers to have a career path. I'm delighted to declare that the Commission is now fully functional. Your Excellency, please permit me to provide you with a brief background to the fully functional Commission and a snapshot, as it were, of some of the TSC's achievements to date and new developments which will further cement the strides that we have made so far. The Leone Teaching Service Commission was established to manage the affairs of teachers with a view of improving their professional status, economic well-being, and other related matters as contained in Section 9 of the TSC Act of 2011. To achieve a true national character, the TSC has had to decentralize its operations and establish a presence in 16 districts with its headquarters in Freetown. Consistent with its mandated functions, the work of the Commission is structured along 4 program departments and the departments charged with its overall operation. First, teacher registration and licensing. The key functions are to maintain and upgrade annually a register of licensed teachers and vet their qualification. The key achievement of this department is in 1920, the department, in collaboration with the technical staff of MBSSC, successfully pilot tested teacher registration. Building upon the lessons learned from this pilot, the department is currently working on plans to develop an electronic database which will link certificate awarding institutions to enable rapid retrieval and verification of diplomas and certificates presented by teachers. And this year, the department will also pilot the licensure exams targeting newly recruited 1,000 teachers. The second department is teacher management, the functions of which are to recruit, replace, deploy, promote, transfer, and dismiss teachers in government and government-assisted schools, and to ensure that the appropriate procedures are followed for end-of-service retirements. The department is one of the most active. I have quite a lot of achievements that I wanted to share with you, but because time is running fast, I'm going to be selective. So the first one I want to mention is that it awarded 10% transport allowances to grades 1 to 6 teachers and another 30% increment in salary was paid in April 2001 to all teachers in government and government-assisted schools nationwide. In the 2021 teacher recruitment campaign, the department revised the World Bank's teacher deployment protocol to target STEM, females, disabled, and volunteer teachers working in remote areas, and prioritize these groups in the recruitment of the 1,000 newly recruited teachers and the replacement of 1,300 teachers. The department has so far, over the last 3 years, recruited 6,034 teachers, replaced 5,042 retired teachers, processed 4,158 teachers for both reassessment and promotion. Some of the new developments in the department include: they have now recently concluded work with DSTI on setting up an online process for e-recruitment. So our next recruitment round will be digital. They are also working on developing a teacher management integrated system, TIMIS, which is a web-based local data management system for retrieving, storing, and visualizing teacher, professional, and biometric information. And the last achievement, the last development I want to mention is that the World Bank is currently funding a consultancy which is putting in place the resurrection, I will call it, of subject teacher associations in English language, maths, science, and French. Now, the third department is teacher development and performance, the functions of which are to organize regular induction and orientation programs for newly licensed teachers, organize continuous professional development programs for serving teachers, and manage the performance of both teachers and school leaders. The department's key achievements include the development of foundational guiding documents, which include the professional standard for teachers and school leaders, comprehensive situation analysis for teachers and the teaching profession, and harmonized teacher policies. Now, in collaboration with MBSSE, Montrose, and UNICEF, the department recently provided oversight over the EGMA-EGRA baseline assessment, which will serve as a baseline assessment for early grade maths and reading in primary schools across the country. The findings from this assessment will be used to shape pedagogic and teacher training interventions. Some of its new developments include the development of a national strategic framework for continuous professional development for teachers with a view to harmonize and coordinate CPD approaches, improve targeting of beneficiaries, and enhance accountability and ultimately student learning outcomes. This department is also supporting a radio teaching program, a program which was conceived at the onset of COVID-19 pandemic and prior to the general lockdown of March 2020, and is now being used to help students to revise their NPSE, BECE, and WAS exams, and guiding them on good examination preparation processes. Now, in partnership with NACOT, CPSSE, and SLTU, the department has engaged Education Workforce Initiative to scope various options for a national competency-based school leadership program, which will help to improve school leadership. Now, the last department that I want to mention is the teacher-employer relations. Their functions are to develop and review standards and the code of professional ethics for teachers, define the rights and obligations of teachers in relation to their employers and the management of institutions where they serve, and
discipline teachers in government and government-assisted schools in accordance with the Code of Conduct for Teachers. Some of the, well, I will just mention one of the developments that they have, and that is they're currently developing a grievance redress mechanism system for addressing complaints. Now, in planning for the future, the Commission is currently in the process of reviewing the TSC Act of 2011 to ensure that it is responsive and fit for purpose to support all the new developments and trends in the education sector. In addition, the Commission's senior leadership is supporting colleagues at MDSSE and MTHE to develop the new education sector plan. And further, the Commission and staff will soon embark on its first strategic plan, which will shape its strategic vision for the next 5 years. Finally, it will be remiss of me not to seize this opportunity to thank all the sponsors of this event, and they include the World Bank Group, the governments of Sierra Leone, Local Commercial Bank, Sierra Leone Commercial Bank, the National Revenue Authority, AfriCell, Leone, and Orient Insurance Company. I would also like to thank all program donors, and they include the government of Sierra Leone, World Bank, UNICEF, Lebanon, FCDO, and I register a note of thanks and appreciation to all the numerous delivery partners, so many of them that I cannot name them all. I thank you all.
Clap, clap. I don't know if you've noticed something in Sierra Leone now. Everywhere you go is technology. Every ministry, department, agency, technology. Everything is technological. We give God glory for that. Let me just let you into a conversation I had one day. We were passing along Kutan Road, and they were just arguing. These boys were just arguing. And they said, the woman who was standing by said, "You don't see me? Where I go, attack me from? I just check my picky in PSC results. I just check and just know." And then the other one said, "You don't know, one day, I can still step with man." And who are they talking about? Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together as I call our Minister of Basic and Senior Secondary Education, Dr. David Moria Senior. Put your hands together for him.
Thank you. His Excellency Brigadier Retired Dr. Julius Manabio, esteemed First Lady, Chief Minister, Ministers of Government, the Country Manager of the World Bank, the Chair of TSC, please permit me to stand on existing protocols, and my senior colleague, Honorable Alpha Wuri. Your Excellency, since we are here to witness you unveiling yet another campaign promise, I wanted to ask you to kindly permit me to update my fellow citizens on all our currently achieved manifesto promises in the basic and senior secondary education over the last couple of years. Under the governance pillar, the education governance pillar, there are 10 basic education goals, starting with you reverting the 6344 system back to 6334 on your first day in office. Our planning in education and the coordination, sir, is so good locally and internationally, and we have the largest multi-donor trust fund ever at $72 million with 5 major development partners. And as of last week, we are now eligible for up to $40 million because of the work that we have done. And our team is currently developing the first locally led education sector plan. Our education management and information system is one across the entire continent that has data linked for all schools from 2012 to 2021. You promised to improve the inspectors of schools. We have had 160 new inspectors, given them motorbikes and tablets and trained them. They've been thorough, effective, as you promised. So you also promised to build the capacity of school management committees for primary schools and for secondary schools, that we will depoliticize the boards and introduce compulsory reporting. I'd like to update you and my colleagues that as I speak right now, thousands of SNC members nationwide currently are undergoing that training. All board members, the chairs, and the secretaries have been trained, and each secondary school in this country has been given one tablet. Those principals use those tablets daily and regularly to report. And for all primary schools, all head teachers will also be given one tablet. Yes, sir, we have done 100% of what we said we would do in the education governance pillar. Under the education financing and management theme, we have increased the education sector budget to 22%. We have a public-private partnership framework, and we track all of our donor resources through our coordinated PIUs. We have an excellent relationship with SLTU, the bike riders, the market women, the CSOs, hence they're involved in our processes. And that's something we have also done 100% of what you said we would do. For civic education, we have launched a national program on civic education, developed a curriculum and learning materials for class 1 all the way to GSS 3. And as I speak right now, the books are on the high seat to land into the immediate program. This will solidify already introduced civic education in our school's timetable. That too will be fully 100% completed by the end of this year. For the theme of increasing access to functional adult literacy education, we have established 202 centers across all chiefdoms, as you promised. We have a draft of an updated early education curriculum, and we've been working with organizations like SMIDA for integrating literacy programs into livelihoods for women. Women are key, and the conversations around adult literacy in some marketplaces have begun. We are well on the way to achieving that 100% as well. Alas, while we have started all of the manifesto promises, we haven't completed all just yet. For increasing the number of qualified teachers, we're working with MTHE to support our teachers who participate in distance learning, and we're working with the teacher training institutions to expand teaching of foreign languages. For increasing access to quality education, we're doing a lot and more than we promised. Certainly, we have free tuition from pre-primary to SSS. We have child-friendly schools. We build and continue to develop early childhood education supported by government policy. We're starting the construction of hostels in 3 districts this year, and we will support 11 boarding schools by the end of next year. Inclusive education is fully supported, and we are buying 5 buses for special needs schools across this country. I'm sure some of the students here rode on the subsidized school buses, which are present in every district headquarter town. All but one district has a functional library, and the ministers and the people from that district are actively working that Falaba will also have its own district library. We have new high schools of excellence in Port Lockhart, which we opened, a new state-of-the-art one in Canada, which will open soon, and we will establish state-of-the-art high schools in all regions as promised. Sir, you also promised to build the capacity, Your Excellency, you asked us to make French a core subject in junior and senior secondary schools. I must confess this will be difficult to achieve, as we don't have that many French teachers, but we will think outside the box. It will be as difficult to achieve as going to single shift in all schools, because we've increased the enrollment by over 30%. But we will try. And for the latter, we're building 510 classrooms, as you recently announced, over the next 3 years. Finally, on improving the conditions of teachers, this is why we're here. As you just heard from the TSC chair, TSC is more than functional than we ever imagined. While we've extended the retirement age of teachers in STEM, French, Arabic, agriculture, we need new schemes for teachers in remote areas. It's a promise that we made. My team is developing a remote or village teacher policy that will address some of this, as well as the issue of community teachers. On the other critical promise, I quote, introduce the Best Teacher Award for the most innovative, ingenious, and dedicated teachers at national and district levels. Well, you're talk and do, sir. And so we are awaiting keynotes to hear on that promise. I would like to conclude that my dedicated staff at NBSSC and all other agencies that I supervise go by the manifesto and the National Development Plan because we believe that education is sweet and Paupa salimos better. Thank you.
Permit me, Mr. President, ladies and gentlemen, permit me to test the President's patience. I gather he's a very patient someone, but I want to test his patience. Go ahead. Mr. President, permit me to have a little class session with your pupils. Put your hands together. I didn't say clap. I said put your hands together. Put your hands together. You see, waiting parents, they go to camera, speaking also cannot keep quiet. You know, in the clap for all the ministers that go and come and talk. When picking do well in a school, who that then be glad for? Eh? Who that talk aloud? Parents. When all the ministers they are willing to clap for, who that will not teach you for clap for? The president. Now na clap for president. Don't let me ask you a question. Una see what tell you for clap. So, why una be clap when I tell you for put your hands together? At Gangayes. Mr. President, my only disappointment is the fact that when I was a teacher, you were not president. Actually, because I would have won the best teacher for the village, for the street, for the region. So let me give you a taste of what teachers endure in school. One of the most popular secondary boys' schools and one of the most popular girls' secondary schools. What I have observed is that in boys' schools, they flog. In girls' schools, they detain. And so, am I right? Okay, one popular boys' school in which my brother was a teacher, the pupils are just registered from one pupils and they were being asked to introduce themselves. And this little boy came from Liberia. Yeah, he was Liberian, and he was asked, "What's your name?" And he said to the teacher, "My name is Wepo." "What's your name?" "My name is Wepo." And the teacher got annoyed. "I don't want to know your status. What is your name?" "We are poor." And the pupils in the class, please sir, I want to know his name. He is called "We are poor." And he thought that the boy was telling him about the social status, making a simple sentence, "We are poor, sir." When I went to the girls' secondary school, they were dealing in math, but they had been told not to speak Creole in school. And unfortunately, most of them got the maths problem wrong, and they were detained. The teacher was waiting, the whole evening went through the assignment, they brought their papers. Wrong. And one of the girls, a frisky little girl, submitted a paper. She was wrong, but while she was coming back to a colleague, she was smiling. And one of the other girls said, "Louisa, did you get it?" And she didn't know for talk Creole. Can you speak in one talk Creole? "Did you get it?" The girl will say, "Usai." I said, "Did you get it?" "Where?" So this is where I will invite. Did I say you should laugh? Put your hands together. Mr. President, this is where I test your patience to the extreme. The person responsible to give the vote of thanks, I want to conduct an election. Can you come forward, please? Director, Teacher Management, Mrs. Maureen S. Abu. Is she around? We are conducting this election in a unique way. You speak, and we take your speech as the vote. So that's why we call it the vote of thanks. Can you quickly cast your vote, please?
His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Sierra Leone, Dr. Julius Madabio, and our First Lady, our Ministers of Education, Chief Minister and other ministers, our adorable and dedicated First Commission, Dr. Amara Becky, our esteemed trustees, our women, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It has been 3 years for the Teaching Service Commission to fulfill an announcement that was made by His Excellency the President of the Republic of Sierra Leone to recognize the value of teachers, to promote excellence among teachers, and to motivate our valuable teachers. So, in 2018, it was agreed that this event be called the Presidential National Best Teachers Award. And our aim is to award most innovative, resourceful, and dedicated teachers at different levels in the teaching profession. Thank you, sir, for your pronouncement. Today, we are celebrating our teachers in Sierra Leone. So the chair of the commission, Mr. Colonel Seki, you have achieved your goals and accomplished a statement that His Excellency made in 2018 to recognize the effort of teachers towards achieving the objectives of the free quality education. Chair, for 3 years, we've been struggling to implement this activity. But today, here we are. With your zeal and dedication, we have achieved the recognition of our teachers in this event. To you, my colleagues, and the Teaching Service Commission, the assessment from pre-primary, junior secondary, senior secondary, so the district, the regional, and the national assessments. As we are having 3 winners today for the national winners, we have created a platform of excellence. As we all know, we are here very organized and devoted to make sure our teachers are celebrated. Thank you for your relentless efforts. Special acknowledgement and thank you to our consultants who brought new innovations to the process because of our broad range of knowledge in the work of education. Madam Josephine Saidu, we are grateful. Ladies and gentlemen, permit me to ask our judges, our dedicated, hard-working, esteemed judges to please stand and let's clap for them. We want to acknowledge your unwavering support to the Teaching Service Commission throughout this process. Your efforts will not go unmentioned in this occasion. God, in His infinite goodness, will bless and guide. To our partners, especially the Ministry of Finance, World Bank, Rokel Commercial Bank, CNN Commercial Bank, National Revenue Authority, AfriSol, Oil Insurance Company. Thank you for your immense support, financial contributions. Please continue to support us because we are geared to an annual celebration of our teachers every year. Continue to support us. God bless you. Let us also remind ourselves that that this award is an annual event, has been set aside to celebrate our teachers as they are the driving force in revitalizing this noble profession, that is the teaching profession. Finally, let me congratulate our winners. Please wave if you are a winner, just wave. Wave your hands. Let me congratulate our first set of winners of the 2021 Presidential National Best Teachers Award. As Mother Teresa once said, you will teach them to fly, but they will not fly your flight. Teach them to dream, but they will not dream your dreams. Teach them to lead, but they will not lead your life. But nevertheless, in every flight, in every life, and in every dream, the print that you have made in their lives will continue to remain with them. With these few words, let me remind you that you are professionals. For all our winners in the district, regional, and national, go back as professionals, excellent teachers that are committed to their students' development and to the contribution of building Sierra Leone in this free quality education. Once more, I say thank you. Thank you to everybody that is here. Hoping to see you all in our Presidential National Best Teachers Award of 2022 coming very soon. Stronger teachers. Thank you all.
National Best Teachers Award. Well, we have come to a point where it is necessary for us to focus. Yes, we need to focus because we've had so much, and all that we've had, all the positive things we've had can be traced to one man, a visionary, who thought about something honorable and had the courage to share it with others. And now we have begun to see the fruit. But before I invite him, I just discovered here, somebody was talking a few minutes ago, David, the Minister of Basic Education, of course you work in Leone for 1 year, but when I need something important today, I'm glad you were not go near one. When I remember when somebody come up here, when they talk about all the things that we need to do, one person go for register, waiting in corner, which one? Thank God I'm not becoming here. And the way I will prove whether you know which one or not, when you say can't talk, you talk about them books they're reading on the high seas. If they land higher, they're not so. The teaching profession and the preaching profession are the most noble. The most noble you can find anywhere among human beings, because they're responsible for our spiritual nurture and also for our mental, emotional, psychological, and social nurture. But what we should appreciate at this point in time is not the fact that these professions are noble, but that somebody came out as a noble as someone to recognize the fact that these noble professions have been neglected, particularly the teaching profession, and he decided to share that vision with us. And now we are benefiting from the result of his nobility. So now put your hands together Fine, now you begin to learn. Let us give him a clap that will resound to both. Let me see whether you can do it. Mr. President, it gives me great pleasure to invite you to the podium. Ladies and gentlemen, the President.
Thank you very much. You can sit down, please. Thank you all, distinguished teachers and school administrators, Madam First Lady, the Chief Minister, Ministers of Government, honorable members of Parliament, members of the Diplomatic and Consular Corps, the World Bank country representative, and other partners present here today, our revered traditional leaders and municipal leaders present here, the leadership and staff of the Teaching Service Commission, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it's still good morning, not so? Depending on what your clock says. Teacher the day, teacher the day. This is a day of celebration. And for Lusuna face. You may have noticed that I deliberately reversed sequencing in protocol in order to highlight the importance of teachers, not only at this event, but in our lives and the future of this country. As has been alluded to by many before me, teachers are a great people. Teachers are one of the most important people in our lives. But for so long, we forget when we reach the pinnacle of our careers, we forgot how we got there. In that regard, I crave your indulgence to all stand up and give the teachers, young, old, experienced, inexperienced, not to put your hands together, but to clap. Thank you very much. Let's sit down now. Ladies and gentlemen, if a barefooted 5-year-old boy who stared in awe and with great curiosity on his first day at school today holds degrees from institutions of higher learning, can speak English and French, use technology, think critically, interact freely with world leaders, and is today the President of the Republic of Sierra Leone, it is all because of the sacrifice, the care, the nurture, and patience of those great people seated there, and many around the world. 3 years ago, I lost my first headmaster. May he so rest in peace. But I still have some of them alive though. And they are the proudest. I remember one telling me, he said, now that you are president, I want to come and do consultancy. He's still alive. And I said to him, but you taught me everything, and I've learned even more than you. So what are you going to come and do?
They said there's still more I can teach you. Therefore, on this day set aside as World Teachers Day, it is all appropriate to celebrate, to honor, and to thank every teacher for all they have done. Through war and through pestilence, teachers have been at the very heart of our nation's resilience and recovery. Even during the COVID-19 pandemic, which we are still going through, they kept schools open, imparted knowledge with characteristic selflessness, patiently prepared students for transitional exams, and continue to mold and open minds as they do always. So today is about honoring those who have been mocked, ridiculed, and underappreciated for choosing a profession that does not bestow instant. We have some bad students who mock their teachers, no so. Do they do it still? And we are the culprit too. I used to do. So we are here to really honor you, to celebrate you, and to let you know you are a great people. Today is about recognizing communicators. Make no mistake, they are the best communicators in the world. They are the best influencers in the world. Tell your child in preschool or kindergarten or in class 1 something that auntie didn't say to him or her. Then you know who is more powerful, whether you the mom or dad. They are opinion makers. They are caregivers. People who serve with empathy, who mold characters, instill discipline and respect, who empower, who give passion, imagination, hopes, and dreams, and opportunities to blossom. Great people they are. Today is about thanking those who, when children have doubts, when they make mistakes, and when they are unsure and frustrated, we patiently stand by and assure them that they are the best, and they are always the best. They are a great people. Today is about honoring those who have dedicated their lives to nurturing and developing human capital of our nation, and thus shaping the future of our nation. Great people they are. Today is about celebrating and honoring our teachers. Thank you, teachers, on behalf of this nation. As president, I have prioritized investing in human capital because it is the only enduring, inclusive, and sustainable pathway to developing our nation. Central to that investment is quality education that is universal and equally accessible by all. The chairman of the Teaching Service Commission has given an exhaustive list of reforms we promised and have delivered to teachers. We talk and we do. The Minister of Basic and Senior Secondary Education has laid out the whole gamut of reforms in the education sector that have made us the object of great admiration the world over. And that is no mistake. Today, when you talk about efforts towards education, Sierra Leone comes to mind around the world, and we have done so in less than 3 years. But I want to thank our partners who have believed in us, stood with us, and worked with us to invest in our citizens through the free quality education. There are so many, I will not name them, but the World Bank did allude to that. Representative. The partnerships, technical support, policy advice, and funding support have been truly invaluable. Thank you, our partners. Thank you for supporting the teacher training and your provision of teaching and learning materials, and your alignment of your funding and expertise with our long-term strategies for augmenting teacher training. There is a role for the private sector and foundations and other multilateral agencies. We want to encourage the private sector and other agencies to help us. This is a national goal. Let us forge partnerships that improve the quality of teachers and of teaching in Sierra Leone. We believe that quality teaching leads to better student outcomes and higher student achievement and completion rates. This is why teachers are central to our overall education strategy, and why in the People's Manifesto, I announced the Best Teacher Award for the most innovative, ingenious, and dedicated teachers at national, regional, and district levels. Our thinking was that through a transparent, competitive process based on clear guidelines, teachers will be identified across the country who consistently demonstrate a number of desirable qualities. Our assessments were based on innovative teaching strategies, including the use of technology and digital media, creating an inclusive and engaging learning environment for the students, maintaining high standards of teaching and assessment, supporting student learning and development beyond the classroom, maintaining the teaching code of conduct, and being a peer mentor and positive role model for other teachers. The objective is to motivate teachers to work towards excellence in the teaching profession and to inspire others to join the profession and to exceed minimum standards. We want to raise the profile and visibility of teachers and of the teaching profession. So we need your support. I have said you are a great people, but we need you to be able to raise your profile, to be able to make you more visible. Winners will serve as role models for other teachers and share their best practices. I expect that the Teaching Service Commission will develop a toolkit that will outline feasible ways best teachers can do. When you are selected, you have to be a role model. You must continue to work, not only to teach, but also to teach students, but also to teach your colleagues who are struggling with the art of teaching. In addition to the modest prizes we'll be providing to each winner today, these winners will be nominated as Sierra Leone's nominee to compete in this year's AU Teachers Prize. So we are beginning to open the door to the wider community. I will close by thanking teachers for what they are and for all that they do. You nurture and you educate young people who I see as the source of hope and as drivers of productive, inclusive, cohesive, and sustainable future. If we should be at the center and not at the receiving end of the fourth industrial revolution, if we should participate actively in the global order, we must and should do better at educating our next generation of leaders. And that task lies entirely into your hands. If as a nation we should meet our targets of social justice and civic responsibility, of gender empowerment and equality, radical inclusion of the youth, girls, pregnant or parent learners,
the poor, the rural, those living with disabilities, and other at-risk populations, we must continue to invest in, honor, and celebrate our great teachers. Congratulations, and I thank you all for your attention.
Thank you, Your Excellency. It's now time for those who are generally unseen to be seen. It's now time to present you to the public for all to see and to be challenged to aspire. You are being honored for excellence, innovation in your teaching, creative and dedicated teaching. And just a few moments ago, the President underlined the fact that you mold the source of hope, our young people. You mold the source of hope for the kind of future we dream of. Now, let me, with your permission, Mr. President, ask the Minister of Basic Education to come forward to hand over the award to one category of winners. We have 3 categories: primary school, senior secondary, and junior secondary. So I will call on Western Area Rural, Miriam Samuel, primary. Western Area Urban, senior secondary. Mayamba, Idrissa Choko Yambasu, senior secondary. Jonathan Bobo Kinto, junior secondary. Fatmata Nyasi Namela, primary. Pujan, Sheku and Sumana Kamen, Sheku and Sumana Kane, Junior Secondary. Mariana Sharif, Primary. Ibrahim Shah, Senior Secondary. Out the judges, the people, the one who is not Ibrahim Kour, Western Urban. Is Ibrahim Kour around? Ibrahim Kour, one in name small. Thank you, Mr. Minister. I now ask the Minister of Higher and Technical Education to dish out the following awards. Both Dauda Lahai Kuruma, Senior Secondary. Professor Ajar Alpha, Primary. Philip Hassan Kuruma, Senior Secondary.
You have to walk on the stage. Walk on the stage.
Salifu Pampu Conte, Primary. Yoko. Ali Tarawali, Junior Secondary. Kandil. Satyaju Pedro Santo, Primary. Anana Sine Kanu, Senior Secondary. Lami Sema Kamara, Junior Secondary. John Corina, Senior Secondary. Ismail Fona, Junior Secondary. Mohammed Shahid Kabir, Primary. Thank you, Mr. Minister. Now, may I call the Deputy Minister. Senior Secondary. Aliyu Sonmoy Kanu, Junior Secondary. Well done. Augustine Lamina Mansouri. Falaba. Well done. Harry Furi Konde. Well done, Mr. Konde. Senior Secondary. Marba Sisse, Junior Secondary. Well done, Marba. Well done. Edward Momodu Kouma, Primary. Kailan. Francis Sabindi. Well done. Wise men come from the east. Kuno Adwana Suri Conte, Senior Secondary. Tamba Stephen Bono, Junior Secondary. Emmanuel Lamin Baga, Primary. Well done. Kenema, Juliet Mercy Amara, Senior Secondary. Well done. Lamin Kamara, Junior Secondary. Can I ask the ministers who dished out the awards to join the group for a group photograph? You have the privilege of enjoying the President's company also. Mr. President, can we prevail on you? And we ask the First Lady, Madam Fatima Bio, to oblige us with her presence. Regional winners, Western area, Alfonso Cargo, Senior Secondary. Leone Junior Secondary. Gladys Baminjoko Bright, Northwestern Region, Khalilun Seri Abad, Senior Secondary. Fatma Shaku, Junior Secondary. Betty Magdalene, Betty Magdalene Moyo, primary. Northern Region, Hajaratu Fula, Senior Secondary. Mary Magdalene Biro, Junior Secondary. Primary. May I now call on the Chief Minister. Thank you, Madam President. Southern Region, Paul Yusuf, Senior Secondary. David Joseph Murphy, Junior Secondary. Alice Fatou Sissé, primary. Eastern Region. Ansiu Keleti Lami, Senior Secretary. Harry Peter Jusu, Junior Secretary. Tusi Sarah Cody. May I again prevail on the first lady to grace your group with your presence. Now we have come to the high point, and let me confess that my voice is too small to announce this level of resolve. So I will humbly ask His Excellency, the President, to announce this unique group, we call them the National Award winners.
Let's sit down, please.
Leone.
I have the pleasure and honor to call the names of all those, the three people who have been chosen, and I will start from the bottom. And that person is no less than David Joseph Martin. the very first, for the first Presidential Teachers Award is Susie this is the check for David Joseph Murphy.
This is interesting. Two women and a man.
Thank you very much.
What surprises me is that we have someone, please, we know you are joyful, but let us take a bit more attention. Thank you, Mr. Richard. Can we keep quiet, please? Let us pay attention. session for the final remark of the day, which will come from the band, the national anthem.
Please remain standing as